If a toxic relationship changed you forever, this is why. There's a certain type of person who either has escaped a toxic relationship or is on the verge of doing so, often without realizing they're already developing something that makes them harder to harm. The psychology behind this, what actually unfolds in your brain when you're entangled with someone toxic, explains why some people manage to break free while others stay stuck. And if you're listening to this right now, it isn't by accident. Here's the part that surprises people. For decades, researchers have focused on trauma, PTSD, anxiety, depression, all the ways people fall apart. Only recently, though, has the question shifted. What about the people who don't just endure trauma, but come out changed in a meaningful way? There's a name for that process: post-traumatic growth. And it's probably not what you imagine. Before we go there, we need to be honest about what toxic relationships actually do to your brain, because this goes far beyond hurt feelings. When you're caught in a toxic dynamic, whether with a partner, a family member, or a friend, your nervous system operates as if it's under constant attack. Research shows that prolonged stress from manipulation or emotional abuse drives cortisol, your stress hormone, to levels comparable to those seen in combat. Your brain can't tell the difference between a physical threat and someone who's gaslighting you. The result? Anxiety, depression, sleeplessness, and a shattered ability to focus. For some people, the symptoms mirror PTSD almost perfectly. And this is crucial to understand. These reactions are not personal weaknesses. They're survival responses. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: keep you alive. Studies summarized in academic research on toxic relationships show that survivors experience not only emotional suffering, but physical symptoms too: headaches, exhaustion, and weakened immune function. Your body is sending alarms in the only way it knows how. But what happens after you leave? That's where things become truly fascinating. Researchers like Tedeschi uncovered something that reframes everything. Around half to two-thirds of people who experience trauma don't merely recover, they undergo a genuine transformation. Not just coping, not just returning to baseline. That's resilience, getting back to who you were before. This is something else. This is what happens when a person is broken down so thoroughly that their entire understanding of the world collapses. And when you're left sitting among those fragments, trying to remember who you even are, something unexpected can occur. You're given the chance to rebuild from the ground up. And sometimes, though not always, what emerges is stronger than what was destroyed. Here's the paradox that may offer hope if you feel completely shattered right now. The people who change the most are often the ones who were hurt the deepest. The ones who couldn't just brush it off. The ones whose beliefs about love, safety, and trust were fully dismantled. If the damage barely touched you, real change probably won't follow. Because growth that truly reshapes you usually requires being broken first. And if you're currently sitting in the aftermath, you may actually be in the most powerful position you've ever occupied. But pause. Before this sounds like empty, everything happens for a reason optimism, let's be clear. Post-traumatic growth does not cancel out pain. Let that land. Suffering and growth can exist at the same time. They are not opposites. A person can carry deep trauma while also experiencing meaningful transformation. Some survivors show signs of PTSD and post-traumatic growth simultaneously. The brain can hold two realities at once. This harmed me, and this reshaped me in ways that matter. Research points to 5 common areas where this growth appears. First, your appreciation for life shifts. Small moments feel heavier, more vivid, after surviving someone who tried to dim you. Second, your relationships change. You form deeper bonds with people who truly see you. Superficial connections lose their appeal. Third, You uncover an inner strength you didn't know you had. A quiet certainty that if you survived that, you can survive almost anything. Fourth, new paths reveal themselves. Opportunities you never noticed suddenly appear because your perspective has changed. Fifth, your belief system matures. Your values sharpen. What truly matters becomes unmistakably clear. But here's the most human part of all. Not everyone experiences this, and that's okay. There's no ranking of healing. Some people recover by simply finding stability again. Some remain wounded in lasting ways. Healing isn't a straight line, and growth is never guaranteed. If you're thinking, I don't feel transformed, I still panic, I still tense up when voices rise, that doesn't mean you're failing. That's the reality. Those who eventually move forward don't share some superhuman toughness. What they share is something quieter. They become deeply, completely exhausted by being treated badly, not in a dramatic sense, but on a cellular level. There's a moment, and if you've lived it, you know, when something inside finally locks into place. The cost becomes impossible to ignore. Boundaries appear not because of a self-help quote, but because the nervous system demands relief. Boundaries turn into healthcare, not personal development. They reach for support, and the research is clear on this point. Therapy, peer groups, or even one reliable person who validates your experience, these are not extras. They're often the dividing line between remaining trapped in trauma and moving toward growth. Studies on coping after toxic relationships show that many survivors develop specific skills: emotional regulation, firm boundaries, and what psychologists call deliberate rumination, actively processing what happened instead of letting it silently replay. That distinction matters. Intrusive rumination, where memories force their way into your mind, keeps you stuck. Deliberate reflection, where you consciously work through the experience, can open the door to growth. So here's what you need to understand about the psychology of surviving toxic people. You are not broken because it affected you. Your anxiety, your mistrust, your constant alertness, these are signs that your brain did its job. It protected you. And if you're noticing changes, being selective with your time, spotting red flags instantly, choosing peace over chaos, that isn't damage. That's hard-earned wisdom your nervous system paid for. The research is consistent. Toxic relationships leave scars. But scars are not the whole story. For many survivors, those marks become guides. They show where you've been, and more importantly, where you will never return. What stays with me about post-traumatic growth research is this: it doesn't glorify suffering. It recognizes how adaptive humans are. We are built to create meaning. And sometimes, when everything collapses, we construct something that finally fits who we truly are. Not everyone reaches that place. Everyone's timeline is different, and no one owes the world a redemption arc from their pain. But if you survived a toxic person and you're still here, still learning, still setting boundaries, still rebuilding yourself piece by piece, that's more than survival. That's transformation unfolding in real time. Your brain is rewiring. Your outlook is shifting. You're learning the difference between connection and control, between care and manipulation. The psychology of surviving toxic people isn't about becoming unbreakable. It's about realizing that when you do break, you get to decide how you rebuild. And sometimes, the places that were repaired become the strongest parts of you. That isn't fantasy. That's neuroscience. And it's already happening inside you. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing. And if you want to support these deep dives, tap the join button to become a channel member.